Nico, you cut your hair! That remains to be seen. We have 5 different kinds of ciders that we are bottling today. There's a milk-washed blueberry cider that you guys have been following along with. There's a regular apple cider that is unspiced. It's just apple, sugar, yeast, water, and thyme. And then we have pineapple cider, which has been, it's a charcoal filtered pineapple cider, and then a Tart Cherry cider, a spiced Tart Cherry cider. These are all hard ciders, which just means that we added yeast to them. We're gonna be making all 5 of these into sparkling ciders, which means that they're gonna be carbonated to some extent. In order to do that, we need to add a priming sugar solution, which is just a solution of some sort of simple carbohydrate. The yeast will be able to convert that into a little bit more alcohol, but mostly more carbon dioxide, which will go into solution and give it that sparkling effect. Really quick, before anyone panics, I just want to point out that I haven't cut my hair, but I do read chat. I read chat. I know what you guys are thinking. Got him. Okay. So we're bottling 5 different kinds of ciders. We need to make a priming solution, which is basically going to be a simple syrup. I just explained how that's going to convert mostly into carbon dioxide, which is going to be what carbonates these things as the gas goes into solution. And then all of that, basically these will be combined with the syrup in something called a priming bucket. The cider will go in here, the syrup will go in here, and then we're gonna use this, which might not make a whole lot of sense to a lot of you guys, which it's fine. It looks like a random set of pipes. This is a bottle. It's an auto siphon and a bottle filler. So this, along with the tubing, is the auto siphon. It basically uses a plunger to pull the liquid through, and this here is the bottle filler. It has a little gasket here where if you push it to the bottom of the bottle, it releases the liquid that's under pressure in the tubes themselves, and that's how you fill the bottles one at a time. In order to get everything off the ground, we're going to first be making syrups, and how much syrup we make is going to depend on the volume of cider that we are trying to bottle. We may not bottle the coffee one because this has been like our baby for the last 3 weeks. It smells great. It's still like a little bit active. We may, instead of bottling this one, we may put it under secondary fermentation under pressure, or we might milk wash it. Is the apple cider. Okay. If you've been following along for a while, you might remember that the apple cider was at one point almost clear. That's clearly not what's happened right here. We'll figure that out. It's also still active. It's not that active though.
Look closely.
There's some gas that's still in there.
Quite a bit. I mean, I would say it's still very active.
It's more active than the coffee one is.
You can tell with the coffee one. Actually, the bubbles stand out a lot more.
Oh,
it's still very much active.
Then what we might do with the coffee and the apple, any of these that still, oh yeah, look at that. There we go. We kicked that up.
Yeah.
You guys can see that on camera too. As soon as I shook this, liberated some of that gas that's still trapped in solution. You don't want to aggravate these too much. When you make them fizzy, that oxygen will create tartaric acid, and any carbon dioxide that goes into solution will create carbonic acid. Both of those will denature everything you have in solution here. It's a really complicated way of saying that you don't want to shake these because it will change how these taste. It will make them acidic. Forgive me for my terrible penmanship. This is one that we're definitely bottling today. This is our blueberry cider that has been milk washed, which is what that says there. It says milk washed. It's remarkable how clear this is. You can't tell from there, but maybe...
Hold on.
That looks much, much clearer, yeah. The blueberry cider underwent a milk washing, which basically means that we added milk to what would have otherwise been relatively finished blueberry cider. We added milk to it. We let it curdle, and then we filtered the curdles off of it. And what that does is it removes impurities and solids that are suspended in solution, and you end up with a clearer, more consistent product. It also ends a little bit of a creamy, sort of thick, buttery mouthfeel to this. We also have the Tart Cherry cider that we've been working on. Last and definitely not least, we have, this was the pineapple cider that we started with. If it looks really clear, it's because this one was charcoal filtered. These have both undergone different kinds of filtration. So the pineapple was charcoal filtered, pretty simple, run it through. Once it's undergone primary fermentation, you can do a coarse strain through like a colander, and then after that you pass it through a Brita filter, which will charcoal filter it. And the idea, hopefully, is that it will make these flavors a little bit less astringent and pungent and a little bit more smooth, complex, deep, and hopefully they'll play better together. John Luke and I are gonna open these up. We're gonna smell them. We're gonna do this hardcore.
Oh boy.
Pull it straight up to your nose in the bottle, and then smell it.
So that's a clean smell. I would drink that. I would drink that right now.
It smells like sweet. It smells like berries.
Okay, so this one.
I sense some hesitation, John Luke.
Yes. Do we have to worry about any of these turning into vinegar?
Both of them have probably underwent a little bit of acidulation, especially this one because of the way that I milk washed it. So we're still gonna bottle it because we're gonna add sugars to these, and that will hopefully offset some of the funk anyway.
I'm not worried about either of these. In fact, I'm actually really pleased at how they how they turned out.
What's going to happen from here is that what remains of the yeast is going to eat up the available sugars in whatever your sweetener was. You can use fine sugar, granulated sugar, honey, maple syrup, rice. There's a bunch of different things that you can use. You can look them up online. I highly recommend finding a priming calculator for whatever it is that you're making. It'll change depending on whether you're making a Belgian beer or a cider or like different kinds of wine or like a German lager. Those will change the volume of or the mass of sugar that you want to use. We're going with the minimal possible mass. We're going to add these to a priming bucket, but before we do that, we need to run some calculations to figure out how much sugar we need to add to solution. The reason these calculations are really important is that if you add too much sugar, the yeast will be overactive, it'll produce too much gas, and your bottles will literally explode, which is why you want to do this in like a sealed room somewhere.
Okay, so we need half an ounce, is that right? 0.47 ounces maple syrup.
Yeah, I think we could get away with a full half ounce. I really like the idea of doing that with the blueberry. Maybe we'll go back and we'll find a different syrup to use for the pineapple. Maple and pineapples sounds kind of weird. All right, so yeah, we're gonna go with a half an ounce. And because this has been milk washed, I'm wondering if we can just add half an ounce directly into this. But if we do that, you guys aren't gonna learn very much about how bottling typically goes. So that being said, I need to open the bottles themselves over there, but I can let this sit in a bottling bucket for a second anyway. So we're gonna add slowly, or as slowly as you can, pour everything into your bottling bucket. The blueberry cider actually has this really, really nice like pink color to it. Ah, see, there's some sediment that we managed to keep from getting into solution there. All right, cool. And then use any number of these guys that I have to measure a half an ounce of maple syrup. Add that in here. And then without agitating the surface too much, we're just going to sort of stir this around, move that maple syrup around, try and get this as homogeneous as possible so that there aren't some pockets that have more syrup than others. That's been stirred. Now we need to get the siphon going. Hey, there it is.
Wow. I like that color.
Right? I was just saying that.
Looks like rosé.
Alright. There we go. Go ahead. Okay.
Smells really good.
We don't have enough for another bottle, do we? This is gonna go into a wild batch. This is gonna be our batch 4, where we're just gonna combine whatever's left over out of any of these batches that will not fill an entire bottle. We did this when we made the beer, and it was actually the best batch, in my opinion, that we made. We called it batch 4. We basically used all of the bits and pieces that wouldn't fill a full bottle before, and we managed to make maybe like 5 bottles out of it. And those were actually like all of the ideal qualities of the previous 3 batches combined. So we're gonna pour all of whatever's left that can't fill a bottle. We'll pour it back into a carboy, and we're gonna run these calculations again. Or actually, we shouldn't have to, because this has the priming sugar in it. So once everything's back in the carboy will go back in the bottling bucket will go in the bottles. Since we're only doing 4 bottles, and these have been filtered, they're probably going to be pretty homogeneous. I don't think there's really going to be a point in numbering these. I would rather just label them like BB for blueberry.
Cap. Put it on. Capper.
That goes back in the carboy as much as we can, which means we're gonna have to do some tricking of this siphon system to clear it out. Welcome to the most dangerous part of the stream, where Jenluke and I taste something that we made ourselves. Raise them if you got them. You don't have to have a glass. If you do have a glass, you do not have to have alcohol in it, but thank you guys for tuning in, making this possible. Jenluke and I are taking a shot of what remains of the still pineapple blueberry cider that we made. So yeah, this is the only version of this that will ever exist, maybe, probably. Cheers.
Cheers.
This is gonna sound really obvious when I say it. It tastes like wine.
Yep.
Doesn't it? It just tastes like wine.
Can I
It just tastes like I wish it were cold. I wish it were ice cold, and it would be great.
All right. So you come in here with this expert insight from the industry. Your answer is, I'll just say, very, very, very different from mine.
Oh, what's
As far
yours?
as first impressions are concerned. All right, so
You say it tastes like wine, I say it tastes like shit. I think we're both right.
okay, so how many? So if you've seen Toy Story, and you know about Pizza Planet, this to me reminds me of what leftover Pizza Planet pizza would taste like the aftertaste, the day after going out there and getting some.
The acidity of the blueberry, because it was so exposed to open air for so long, and the savory umami-ness, the flavor of the pineapple, those two together just make it, and using a champagne yeast, make it incredibly dry.
There's two types of people.
I think it tastes good.
Pizza Planet.
It tastes like warm white wine to me. It tastes like warm white wine.
No, I liked it. I really like leftover pizza. I should also clarify that, like, to me, this is... I felt at home having this.
Oh, that being said, we made the time limit we set for ourselves, 1 hour.
Yeah, we did.
We did 2 batches instead of just the 1 apple batch, but apparently it's still really super duper active. We could continue talking about the rest of the stuff that we made, but I'm still excited to see how those turn out.
Yeah, same. Especially the blueberry and, well, I'm definitely going to try the apple cider when it's done, because it looks like it's going to be really good, really rich. But the coffee and blueberry one, the coffee one I'm really excited for because it's already got a higher ABV than any other cider will ever have. Because of kind of what was put in there in the preliminary stages.
The bartender and the pizza lover, the 2 kinds of people.
Yes.